Okay guys, so welcome back. We've made our way from the tee box down close to the green. We've got ourselves 7 to 8 yards from the green, Martin.
Yeah.
We are in a zone that petrifies golfers. This notion that we don't have a club that goes this distance.
I've got a bunch of clubs that go this distance.
Exactly, and people don't realise that. So just because a full out swing, a well struck shot, you know, goes 120 with their wedge, 130 with their 9, whatever it might be, when it gets into this partial swing territory, they go, what do I do now?
Right.
Which one do I take?
Yeah, no, it's, you know, it's interesting. In golf machine terminology, it's called acquired motion. Total motion, acquired motion. Total motion obviously makes a ton of sense to everybody. And I had a funny lesson with a couple of neat guys a few weeks ago in the heat of Phoenix. And so I'm going to hit this shot. So it's 76-ish.
Yep.
And you know who's pretty good at this? My buddy Mike Weir is pretty good at this shot. But like anybody any good, so 76. So I've got a club that if I hit full, I can hit 100. So this is not my full shot, but let me hit one toward the pin. So a little out to right field, put on the brakes with some cheese on it, and that's
Perfect
pretty close,
for
right?
distance.
Like that's going to be close.
Flew 73, one release check,
Yeah.
bingo.
Right? It's like
You've acquired that motion.
I've acquired that motion.
Yeah.
So we've got to acquire the sense. Now have you had all the kids you're going to have?
Yes,
Oh, good.
done.
Stand right here. Perfect. Don't move. Okay. You are safe, my friend. So I would never stand there. You flinched, bud.
I don't know how you were going to stop there.
Right? But you see, there's another one. So another 74-yarder. You see my point? Like that's rolling up really close to the pin.
There it is.
Now, you see what? Like I freaked you out there, didn't I?
I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for
No,
it.
but see, here's the thing. Like I had this lovely guy. One fellow was probably a 4 or 5, and his buddy's about a 10.
Yeah.
And now every sort of little wedge shot, and so most of my lessons include some on-course piece, which I love to do.
Right.
Right? That's my playing time, really, is taking students out to knock it around a bit.
For sure.
And so here's this guy. He's a pretty good golfer, but every swing looked like this, Ian.
Yeah.
Every swing was kind of one of these things where I could walk around, like grab that club head, and this is on a 50-yard pitch.
Yeah.
This is where he was, and I would reach and grab the club head. And so, of course, I did the silly thing I just had you do, where learning how to, you know, strike, decelerate, rotate your body, extend yourself. Now, what you don't realize when you watch like the greats, Zach Johnson, Steve Stricker, Tiger Woods, Bernard Langer, the best, they have this motion where they're actually working away from the ground. As the club head's going down, right, as the club head is working downward, here's a downward motion, they're standing upward. And I can decelerate that pretty easily. And Ian was standing here, he's out of harm's way all day.
Yeah.
Right? And to a degree, we have to learn how to use, even on these less than full shots, you got to learn to use the ground properly rather than this club head that just kind of slings past you.
The one thing you guys will be picking up, and it's such a desired thing in golf, is the sound of the strike. All 3 of those shots, even that one, right? There's such a forceful and definite strike down into that ball.
Sure.
There's absolutely no hope that it's going to be a good shot. You know that it's going to be a good shot.
I've got to, you know, I like to think it's going to go, or, you know, certainly from here. Maybe the driver I can hit a little squirrely, but this thing, no, I'm going to hit this pretty good.
Yeah.
But here's what like you hockey players, I played men's league hockey until last year. Took a slap shot, broke my toe, packed it in. Tired of getting injured, okay? 53, I packed in they didn't hang my jersey from the rafters. But you think about a slap shot. So if I was taking a slap shot, all my force is going down to crush that puck, you know, to compress my stick into the ice, to really kind of bend my stick and then get the puck to rocket off of there. So all the force works down. But guys, don't miss this part. Part of this stick is going down, part's going up. Right. Even my lead shoulder, all the force going down my trail side. Where's my lead side? It's working up.
Rising up.
So like this behavior of learning how to kind of stand up while you hit down, that's a massive skill that people, once they kind of go, wait a second, so you mean I can actually have this thump of standing up while I'm hitting down? Yeah, because you watch the best, they're not trying to keep their head down. And I know that sounds blasphemous and you want to burn me at the stake, but the fact is we're not keeping our head down. Yeah, you look at what you're hitting, and then the ball is gone. But we've got to have that sense of how we can put the brakes on and hit a shot rather than, and you'll say, well, why would I want to put the brakes on?
Yeah.
Because you want to stay here and just go do. No, you don't.
Right.
You know, so it's acquiring that ability. Let me walk you through how I would teach it.
Yeah, I'd love to do this.
Grab one of your wedges.
Okay.
Which one? Say
yeah, so I mean, I would hit this. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what this is.
Cool. So, Aberdeen. You're not from Aberdeen, are you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, lovely guy from Aberdeen, David Tranmer. If you're watching this, David, love you, bud. You're awesome. Came to a camp Andrew Rice and I did at Royal Portrush a number of years ago. And so, honestly, you could play the shot like this. So I've got 76 yards. So this is David. We're at Portrush. We're on the, what hole was that? 8. And so he's in the fairway like this. And he just kind of sends one down there. And let's see how I do.
Pretty good.
Come on.
Get the hill.
Get over that hill.
Get the hill.
Get over that hill. Okay, well that's not bad, right?
David would have taken that one.
David would have been thrilled.
Day.
Oh, look at it. It's going to be close now when it made it over the hill. That might be my best one.
That's epic.
Okay, so I always joke, putt when you can putt.
Oh, I nearly went in.
I always joke, putt when you can putt. When you can't putt, obviously you're going to kind of have some intermediate swing, and then you're going to have some more of a full swing. And the intermediate swings are a chip stroke, a pitch stroke, a three-quarter shot. We're talking more three-quarter stuff here.
Yeah.
And some of you, maybe slower swing speeders, are saying, well, Martin, that's a full, well, if this is a full swing for you, it's just a full swing for you. But for many of them watching this, this would be that abbreviated wedge type thing, right? So come on over here. We'll put David's putter away for a second, David. So no ball for the moment.
Okay.
Just set up on that divot patch. Now, I've had all the kids I'm going to have too.
Yes.
Right? So I want you from here, what we're going to learn how to do, you got hold of it? Mm-hmm. Kind of stand up and put the brakes on. Okay? So you're really going to feel like you're going to go from address and abruptly up to here.
Got it.
Okay? So go ahead and do that. I'm going to be your barrier kind of thing. Boom. Good. Do it again. Good speed, knowing where you're going to stop. Awesome. Okay? Now add a little bit of backswing and put the brakes on. Just a bit, a foot or two. Awesome. Even faster. You're good. I'll put my arms here. It makes you more comfortable. Perfect. Do it again.
Okay.
Good. And so, yeah, you're holding this off. And so here's what I want you to recognize too, viewers, is that good players, their grip tension actually increases into their finish. Mm-hmm. So if I start off at, say, maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10, comfortable waggle, getting ready to go, tapping the grass for measure, when I sting these little control wedges, now actually pressure increases and you did it naturally to control the golf club. Where a lot of you learning at home that maybe don't have command over the 60, 70, 80 yard intermediate shots, everything's like your driver, you're just kind of sending the club head. Well, the game encompasses a ton of variety, and in these shots, you're learning how to kind of accelerate and kind of put the brakes on with the body, and things naturally tighten up, and it's welcome. Enjoy it, you'll get way better. Did you feel that?
Totally.
Cool.
Totally.
So now I'll get out of the way, because I don't quite trust you yet.
No, I don't have it yet.
Okay. No, but you're a good stick. Now let's go ahead and hit this shot.
Okay.
Let's see, what do we got here? We're in range there? Yeah, perfect. So something, obviously when you're playing a course like this, what are you noticing? And the green does what?
I mean, everything's falling away from us, right to left here.
So you're gonna aim at the pin? Probably, you're gonna aim a little right of it.
We're gonna aim a little right and kind of, we've got 58, so we're gonna throw it, I don't know, 6 paces, 7 paces right. The last bit will feed towards the hole.
There you go,
hopefully. Right?
So you're using a bit of the geography to help you get it close. So just wanted the viewers to understand, you're not always going for the pin when you've got the ground kind of sloping there. So narrow stance, he looks perfect over it. So I'm looking for this kind of brisk, it's a staccato feel that, puts the brakes on. Good, show me one. Let the ball get in the way and let's see if that's the right energy. So nice crisp strike.
Wee bit heavy.
Was it?
It was a wee touch heavy.
Okay, I think the outcome is going to be great.
Yeah, we'll take it all day long.
Just a tick long. Okay, so you got a little bit more, a little bit of grass?
Yeah, a wee bit.
So let's explain this to the viewers too. So he's spot on. He got a bit of grass. You can see that little grass centered part right there. I would never hit another shot with this club because that right there is lubricant. So he's got a bit of the ball on there. He's got a bit of grass. That's lubricant. So if he hits another shot right off there, he's not going to get the right spin profile at all. It's going to be some high launch, low spin ball that's out of control.
Right.
So I always, when I'm practicing, guys and gals out there, I always have a club cleaner around. So I'm always making sure if I hit a shot and I collect any kind of lubricant, grass grease, I call it, I always wipe it off and I'm ready for the next shot. So now he's got a clean face, he can have friction. If he, hits this one, really nips this one nicely. Good, let's kind of get ready to put the brakes on as though I'm kind of standing in front of you to your left a little bit.
Okay.
Grip pressure, waggle is probably maybe a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then when you put the brakes on, you're right there at maybe a 6 or a 7. How'd you feel?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
So lovely shot, and it's gathering up close. I mean, that's a shot now. You've got a very close approach shot. Okay, awesome. Very nice. Feel good?
Feels really good.
So now here's the thing. The viewer, you're like, oh, okay, Martin, that's nice. Ian, okay, Ian's a good player. Martin, what are you telling us? I'd say learning how to put the brakes on in your swing, believe it or not, is a vital part of development in golf. Because every golfer out there just thinks that they're just sending the club head.
Yeah.
But the reality is, our body runs a range of motion. When you're playing golf, we're developing a backswing. There's a rotation of our pelvis. We rotate. Our trunk rotates. Our arms are, they have some momentum. They develop a bit of a backswing, maybe not a full one for this little shot. And the same thing on a through swing. A body, kind of runs a range of motion. And to have this kind of flimsy, kind of a fake follow through on shots that aren't full is a waste and doesn't really kind of teach you how to put the brakes on and govern the acceleration properly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's for me, when I hit those 2 shots, that would be my biggest sense of the acceleration through impact was significantly higher than it normally is.
Okay, you felt more brisk?
Oh, way more, because I know that I'm stopping this thing here.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to generate enough, and then it's going to come to a halt. And that's what, on the first strike that wasn't good, and the second that was very good, was the key difference. Was just I felt like I was really accelerating, and the reality is I've got 2 lovely short putts.
Right. So George Knudsen, my coach, Winnipeg boy, moved to Toronto. I was blessed to be around him when I was a little guy. I love the guy. And he used to always have an expression, begin with the end in mind, which I later found out was a Stephen Covey quote, but I don't care. If he stole it, it was a beautiful quote. Meaning that every wedge shot that I hit is always with the intent, I know where I'm going.
Yeah. So
I always see myself in this finishing form. So let's say it's a 40-yarder. Maybe my 40-yarder's here, maybe my 50-yarder's here, maybe my 60-yarder, and then obviously this is going to be harder to slow down as it gets into 60, 70, 80, 90, but none of these are just kind of flimsy, kind of put the thing on my shoulder and my follow through.
Yeah.
So there's always a sense of where am I going, and then what rate do I go to get there.
Yeah.
So if I know where I'm going, if my finishing form is kind of rotated, relocated here, and I gather up the energy to kind of hit that spot, boom, and that's it. Now, and hopefully I'm right in my judgment. May not be.
Well, what's so awesome about this nugget is we've reverse engineered it. We've started here. Yep. This is where we want to be. You've never once told me, I want your backswing at 3 o'clock. I want you to take it back like this. It's a case, okay, figure this part out. But I want you here when all's said and done. You judge it. You judge the element of control and speed and all those things. And it didn't take much thought for me to get it exactly where we needed to be.
Yeah.
I've had a reasonable amount of training at that, but you didn't overcoach me to get it.
And so the unique thing too, when you begin with the end in mind and you kind of teach somebody to kind of go into this semi follow through and they're over here. Now, where are my eyes? Where am I looking? Where's my torso?
Right,
where am I?
target.
My eyes they're not level. They're in their kind of side bent look. So if you know where you're going, and then you say, okay, I know where I'm going. I'm going to find energy to go back to there and let balls get in the way of that event. Now you start to build a repertoire of like, okay, well, this is what this feels like.
Yeah.
The next one feels a little longer, and then pretty soon, you look at a number. And I know a lot of people talk clock, and that's fine, and I get it. I certainly have my a sense of arm travel.
Yeah.
But you can have, you know, arm travel can be here to here, but man, if
Mm-hmm.
the pacing is different, the distances are different.
Right.
Right? So most of my shots go to a very similar post-impact look, but the pacing that gets it there changes a lot of the outcome and distance.
Right. Love it. Love it. Guys, I mean, I hope a lot of you again are taking this as new information, because a lot of this is, to me, a lot of this stuff in terms of, we're talking about how to achieve, you know, the scoring part of the game, stinger shots off the tee, distance, whatever it might be. These are a lot of new concepts for me to hear. I know we've not had them on the channel before with the stuff that we've talked about. We've talked about a lot of things, but this is all new and great stuff.
Cool.
So again, guys, this is for you, a mini part series that you can take a little bit of something from each one of these videos. Martin delivers these at his schools every single week.
We have a blast helping
Yeah.
golfers.
And talk us a little bit through that. So you do your sort of 3 or 5 day camps?
It's immersive. It's mostly, you know, pre-COVID, tons of Canadians came. They're starting to come back gratefully.
Right.
But we do a camp every week. It's Wednesday,
Every week.
Thursday, Friday, morning session, lunch break, a bit of an afternoon session. And we take you on the golf course. I go play with you or my other coaches, and they're fantastic players and coaches. And we just have a good time saying, okay, here's some technique things. We try to make the technique as simple as we can make it.
Yeah.
Some people like to hear all the bells and whistles, fine, we'll give them that. But if we can keep it as simple as we can, fine. It's more about soft skills. How do you think about a shot? How do you approach a shot? Walking in, strategy. Okay, what was the outcome? Was it satisfactory, or, you know, then you go, all right, let's
Yeah.
do it again. What could I do better?
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of it comes back to just set up routine and how you think about things before the shot, like Nicholas said.
Yeah.
90% of the shots before you even hit it.
Right.
And a
right.
lot of it is.
Yeah. Brother,
Hey man, good times.
thank you.
Sorry I scared you with that little deal.
So good. We learned something, and I had no idea that was I would never have played that shot that way.
Really?
Ever, never have stopped that briskly with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I can't wait to take to the practice tee.
Cool.
And get working at it. Okay, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I know you guys will as well. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you again soon.
Check this out. Pretty impressive. Ian's hitting some nice little wedges in here. Now granted, it's a bit of a bowl, but still, the farthest one's maybe 22 feet. And we've got a bunch of knee-knocker birdie putts, but pretty darn impressive wedgery. And then, of course, David Trammer's putt that he always hits from the middle of the fairway, 70 yards back. Good fun. And the peeps here at the pulpit and the paintbrush, thanks for having us out. It was awesome.